317. I am the Wager Zone. We got Mr. Carter with us to go and do the UFC 317 breakdown. Topuria versus Oliveira. So if you guys are here for the first time, like the video, subscribe to the page, come back every single day, guys. Let's cash out for this UFC 317. And all right, guys, let's get right into this first fight of the night. First fight of the night is going to be Calvin Ewart taking on Jackson McVeigh. So
The
first,
Moose.
for the Moose McVeigh. So personally, I'm taking McVeigh. If you guys have watched my LFA videos previously, I've told you guys that I'm going to be, I've taken McVeigh many times. I've bet McVeigh throughout his whole entire career of LFA. He hasn't fought the best competition, but I have taken McVeigh many times and made a lot of money off of him. So it was actually a really good pick for me to take McVeigh. But what do you think about this fight?
To be 100% honest, I know neither of the guys. But I like Moose to win. I like the one that you had McVeigh.
Hmm.
Um it just seemed like he had a better resume from what I was looking at, and the longer fighter, the younger fighter, and you know how that usually goes. That's like a 70%er. So I like that. I didn't know the odds on any of those ones or anything, but like I
Yeah,
said, I wasn't
McVeigh is a slight favorite on the bookies by a
more
slight
of a
favorite.
pick 'em. Yeah.
Yeah, more of a pick 'em. He's more of like a minus 130, minus 140.
Well, somebody's though got to go. So
Yeah.
somebody. I thought it was cool that they like it was two people that like never fought in the UFC fighting against each other, because usually you see like people coming in and then like fighting somebody that's like super difficult or something to start off, or somebody that's like on their way out that's been fighting a long time. So it's like it's cool to see two people that are like not in the UFC like getting a chance to fight in the UFC against each other, you know?
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of cool.
And yeah, I think this fight's basically going to come down to where if McVeigh can get those takedowns, I think the striking is honestly like really even if you look at the striking between these two guys. But McVeigh's grappling just levels above Ewart. And I think if McVeigh gets his fight to the floor, he's probably going to finish his fight by submission or ground and pound. So that's probably what I'm going to be taking. If you guys are here and you guys like props, I'm going to be leaning McVeigh probably by finish. I think that's probably the best prop. I don't think it goes all 3 rounds. I think McVeigh does get the finish.
He could be like my brother, you know? So I think that's why I'm going with him. I'll take him. I said didn't do um no
So
like fight breakdown tape, or like I know you went and did a lot of tape on a lot of these like up and comer guys and stuff, like you said, watching them through LFA and all that, so you
yeah.
know who a lot of these people are, which that's what I always thought was cool about what you were doing, was like starting to know some of these people, like knowing these type of dudes before
Mhm.
they even come in, you know.
Yeah, that's the reason why I started watching and doing a lot of PFL and LFA breakdowns and Cage Warriors. Because I'm like, eventually these guys, some of them will make it to the UFC, and I want to know when they get to the UFC, I can know exactly how they've been fighting instead of just going in blindly as soon as they get to the UFC and then start like, you know what, I'm gonna watch some tape and figure it out. But let's get right to this next fight. Next
Cool.
fight is Jonathan Denise taking on Alvin Hines, and this one I'm taking Denise. Honestly, I like Alvin Hines. He's one thing about him, he's a really big heavyweight. He's a bigger guy, but he's very athletic and he swings very heavy. And he does have a decent cardio for how big he is. People kind of look at his size, think, oh, he's gonna gas out, but he really does have some 3 round cardio. But I just think the striking levels are gonna be way on Denise's side. Denise is a world champion kickboxer. He's been kickboxing for a long time, even before he started doing MMA. Alvin Hines is a what's it called? He went to college for about 4 or 5 years for engineering. He makes more money in his engineering everyday job than he does actually for the fighting wise. He's like that guy that's like, hey, let's crack a couple beers and go beat some people up this weekend. Like he's kind of that dude. So he's not really like a lifelong um what martial artist. He's more of a like I said, a guy that
They're
just
both
picks it up.
older, right? Like they're both older guys and stuff
Uh,
fighting.
I think Alvin Hines is about like 30, mid 30s, and then
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought they
Janata's
were
a
both
little
like.
younger. Janata is a younger guy, but Alvin Hines is in his mid 30s, making his UFC debut. But like I said, he's not a lifelong MMA fighter. He's a guy that's just like once, like I said, crack a beer open, and let's go beat some people up, and he's been doing pretty well. He hits very hard, very athletic, but I just think Denise, like I said, lifelong MMA martial artist. He has really good kickboxing. I think that's probably how he's going to win this fight. Stay on the outside, pick him apart, land those leg kicks, and probably end up knocking out Hines, to be honest. You have anything to say about this one at all?
There was only one thing I had to say about this entire fight. The only thing that scares me is the dude that you said, the Alvin Hines dude, looks like he would be like the heavyweight version of Sarah, of
Which
like
Sarah?
Matt
Oh, Matt
Sarah.
Sarah, the heavy.
Like
Yeah, I guess
he just has that
very
like
big
look.
guy.
He just looks like like a Matt Sarah type of fighter, you know. Like
He is that type
I
of
have
fighter.
no
He
idea.
is.
Like I said, I
He's
didn't
that
know none
old
of these
school.
dudes coming up, or these dudes that were in the very beginning of the fight card. I had no idea who any of them were, but if so, I just kind of went off of looks and like the first little information I could see. But the first thing that stood out to me was that dude looked like he was like Matt Sarah on like super steroids.
So yeah, like basically, I agree with that. Honestly, like how he looks, like you said, he looks like Matt Sarah. If you know about a lot of these newer fighters, they're starting to come up with like a lot of like different skill sets. They're like training different things. Like I said, Denise is a lifelong martial artist, and Alvin Hines is, like I said, he's like that old school fighter. He is like he's one of those guys. If he fought probably in the early 2000s of MMA, UFC, he'd probably be killing people and knocking people out. Like he's like that old school barn burner fight. It's gonna be a barn burner for sure. It's gonna be these guys just throwing down, and they're gonna end up probably someone's gonna get knocked out.
Look at him right there.
Look
That's
at Matt
Matt
Serra.
Sarah. That's Matt Sarah, right? And then you got the Alvin dude, bro. I'm telling you, that's like the heavyweight version. I don't know if he fights like him. That's the only thing. So give me Alvin,
You
baby.
like give me Alvin. I'm not even gonna lie to you though. When I first watched this fight and I saw that Alvin Hines, when I saw that Alvin Hines was the big underdog like this, and I've been watching Alvin Hines for a while, I was like, man, I was like, he hits very hard. I was like, if he does catch Denise, he might knock him out. But I'm more like Denise should win this fight. Lifelong martial artist, kickboxer. I think he picks apart Alvin Hines and probably gets this
No,
knockout
that's
from
what I
this fight.
was leaning, to be honest. Like when
Yeah.
if you had to pick or whatever, it would probably be what you said. But it's just, like I said, I always gotta have the controversial take on, like, bro, Matt Sarah's seniors coming out there to.
So let's get on to this next fight. The biggest favorite on the card, minus 2,000 favorite. Jacoby Smith taking on Nico Price. And this one, guys, I'm taking Jacoby Smith. Like I said, it's a minus 2,000 favorite. I don't know much you can put on this. You could probably take him by finish, but I think that's over a minus 300 favorite as
That's
well, him by
crazy.
knockout. So like him to knock out Nico Price is a minus 300. And honestly, I think he's gonna do it. I think he's gonna knock out Nico Price. I think he's his striking. He hits very hard. I'm talking about very hard. His striking is getting better and better. His grappling is his main game plan. Like if he has the wrestling, he has the ground and pound. He, like I said, he's a wrestler by heart. He has the wrestling. He could take him and Nico Price down. And at the same time, I just really believe that Nico Price is probably going to end up getting knocked out in this one. Nico Price has been in so many wars. He does it in so many wars, and his chin is not there anymore. We used to love Nico Price thinking, like, man, he could take the punishment and come back. That's not Nico anymore.
Nah,
Nico,
he's taking too much punishment.
yeah, Nico's chin is probably done. I think this might be his final fight of his whole entire career. I think this is like the only time we're going to see Nico Price in the UFC again. I think Jacoby Smith comes out here,
Yeah, I
either
could
knocks
see
him
him
out right
fighting
away.
somewhere else and stuff like bare knuckle or something
Bare
fun.
knuckle would be perfect
Just, I mean,
for
I'm not
Nico.
saying for sure bare knuckle, but something like that would be cool for him, you know? Like, what's his name has another organization that they're doing right now, too. So it's like it would be cool for him to do other things, you know? I just don't see
Yeah, so
how
like
he wins. Like you said, I mean,
yeah.
it's Nico Price, could he? But at that big of a favor, and the other dude it's the other dude's fight to lose. That's the way I
Mhm.
looked at it, and that's usually how it goes against Nico Price. It's whoever's fighting Nico Price, it's their fight to lose. Like most
Yeah.
of the time, they should beat Nico Price. In the fights that he has won, he shouldn't have won. Like it
Mhm.
was fights he wasn't supposed to win. So.
Yeah, now he's fighting a guy that's way more athletic than him, a lot more younger than him, and probably has a way more skill set than him. And but at the same time, oh, who wants to add a minus 2,000 to their parlays, right? Like the minus 2,000 is like it doesn't add anything. So there's no reason to even add this to your parlays. If you're gonna add it to a parlay, you might as well take Jacoby Smith by knockout into the parlay because that just drops the odds a lot more. But like a minus 2,000. You add him to a parlay, and he goes out there and loses. He ruins everybody's parlays for the whole entire day because he's a minus 2,000 that didn't even add much. So that's all I got to say about that fight. There's not that much really to break down. Besides, I just think that Nico Price is going to be outclassed everywhere. He doesn't have the chin anymore to withstand that one. So getting into the next fight, it's gonna be a lightweight fight. It's gonna be Terrence McKinney taking on Vladislav Borshev, and this one is gonna be a wild fight. This one's gonna be a crazy fight, in my opinion. Someone's gonna get knocked out. Someone's gonna go to sleep. But I'm gonna be on the Terrence McKinney side. I think Terrence McKinney is probably gonna take Borshev down and finish him by submission because Borshev doesn't have the best takedown defense. He doesn't have the best grappling. Though Borshev is that type of guy where he only wins fights if he takes the punishment first and comes back and out technicals you in those second and third round because he has the cardio. But that's the one thing about Terrence McKinney. He doesn't have the cardio. He comes out here and he explodes in that first round and a half. And after that, he gasses out. And I just don't think that if this fight gets to that third round, this could be a perfect live betting spot for Borshev. But I just think Terrence McKinney's going to take him out in that first round. I think Terrence McKinney's probably
Yeah.
going to explode on him and knock him out in that first round or just take him down. Like I said, Borshev doesn't have the best grappling, and Terrence McKinney is a better grappler overall, and he could submit him. But the one thing I've seen is that Borshev fought against Chase Hooper. Chase Hooper dropped Borshev because he ended up cracking Borshev and dropped him. And I believe if Terrence McKinney lands that shot, the same thing as Chase Hooper did, he'll probably put Borshev to sleep. But on the ground, if Terrence McKinney tries to take Borshev down, one thing I've seen about Borshev is that he lasted all 3 rounds, well, almost all 3 rounds, basically like 2.5 rounds with Chase Hooper ground and pounding him. I'm talking about elbows, shots over and over again, and Borshev just never gave up.
Let
And
me ask you a question based off of what you just said then, right? Do you think that Chase Hooper at this stage of his career and when he fought Borshev is better than Terrence McKinney?
yeah, because I think he'll probably outlast Terrence McKinney's first round and then out grapple him, and when he's tired out, submit Terrence McKinney. I think that's probably what would happen to Terrence McKinney. And that's what in that Chase Hooper fight, that's what he did. He took him down over and over again, and then he eventually was like, "Damn, I can't ground and pound this guy out. Like I'm just gonna grab his neck and choke him out. Like that's what I'm gonna do because he wanted that ground and pound finish. He went over and over, and Borshev just kept taking it, getting in better positions, and he got back up. If that happens to Terrence McKinney, where Terrence McKinney takes him down and tries to ground and pound him over and over and over again, and he doesn't get that finish, Terrence McKinney is going to be gassed. And Borshev is going to be a live underdog to bet. Probably, like I said, at the end of that second round, third round, Terrence McKinney would be gassed out, and Borshev would probably put it on him in that third. But I just, like I said, like if I'm putting my money on it, I'm probably going to take Terrence McKinney as a good parlay piece because I do believe he's going to end up knocking out Borshev.
Was Borshev the dog in this?
Borshev is a dog. He's about a
Like,
plus 300 underdog against Terrence McKinney.
that's wild.
Yeah, he opened up at a plus 200 underdog, but then more money just started coming in on Borshev, so they just ended up people putting money on Terrence McKinney a lot. So Terrence McKinney is actually a pretty big favorite in this one.
But you got Terrence McKinney first round.
I got Terrence McKinney probably winning by that first round. Honestly, probably a first round knockout or submission. If he wants to take him down, I think he can out grapple
And
him.
if he outdoes him in the first, or if makes it past the first, you're probably just gonna bet Borshev live then.
Yeah, if he gets past that first round and a half, like maybe the round and a half after that first round, I want to see how Terrence. First off, I want to see how Terrence McKinney looks at weigh-ins tomorrow. I want to see how he looks at weigh-ins, and if after that first round when they go back to the corners, I want to see how Terrence McKinney's how he's breathing because if he's breathing heavy at the end of that first round, Borshev is probably going to put it on him at those last rounds because he's just not going to have the cardio. Like we've seen, how many times have we seen Terrence McKinney come out there and gas out after that
It's
first
not
round?
even just the gassing, right? So the reason, so I have the opposite of you. So I have Borshev,
Mm-hmm.
and for one reason and one reason only, and it's not like a safe bet. I'm not one that I'd be like, yeah, put all your money on Borshev, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just like you said, I would kind of rather watch how the fight plays out. Probably be a live betting spot more than anything. But it's like the one thing that you know about Terrence McKinney is he has all the skill because we've been fans of him, right? But the
Yeah.
thing is that he's just not a smart fighter.
Mm-hmm.
Like and we've always said it. Like
He just
there's
explodes.
we've broken him down against other people, and he's just not a smart fighter. He makes dumb decisions. And when it comes to Borshev, I just don't know if he can make dumb decisions against somebody that's just going to pressure you and not
Hmm.
go away. And like you said, where it's like, if it does for 3 rounds, ends up with the second, third round, Borshev's going to be a live dog no
Yeah.
matter what. So, I
So
mean,
you
I
got
think he is
Borshev.
now. Yeah,
So,
I think he ends up pulling it off just because I think you had said one thing about Borshev earlier was like he is technical and he knows how to
mhm.
win a fight, and so it's like if he picks up as the fight goes longer. So it's like I would see him in the second, third round, especially if he can get it out of the first to be able to take over and start to put it on Terrence McKinney more. And then Terrence McKinney's going to try to make stupid decisions to try to get the fight back in his
Mhm.
favor. Like you said, trying to like not getting doing the things that he should do that could just win him this fight, because he could beat him for 3 rounds, which is a crazy thing. People don't think so, but it's because of his fight IQ that they say that. It's that he gasses out because he's not smart when his
Mhm.
energy and how he fights. So
Yeah, and then the over. See, one thing about this fight too, the over 1.5, and the over it's over. The line set at over 1.5, and there. One thing that's crazy about it is that it opened up at the over 1.5 at a minus 170 over 1.5. Now it's juiced up to minus 250 under. I mean, over. I said over 1.5. I meant under 1.5. The under 1.5 was a minus 170. Now I got juiced. It got juiced all the way up into like minus 250, minus 225 for under 1.5. So it seems like everybody's taking Terrence McKinney. A lot of people believe Terrence McKinney is going to end up knocking this guy out in that first round. Kind of like that's what the odds and the money's coming in on. If you look at the
yeah, and the
how the
under and
movement's
everything.
been.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. This next fight, we get into the next fight. So you got Borshev, I got McKinney. This next fight is going to be who is this next fight? I lost. Is it Tracy? I think
Yeah,
is it
Tracy
Tracy
Cortez
Cortez?
and Viviana Rojo.
Yeah. So Viviana versus Tracy Cortez. This one scares me. Like it does scare me. I'm not gonna lie. Like the odds and everything because Tracy Cortez is a minus 230, minus 225 favorite, but I'm leaning Tracy. I think Tracy's gonna lean on her wrestling and end up taking a Rajo down, and then I just don't think Viviana is gonna be able to stop her wrestling, especially with the age difference in this fight. Viviana is up there in age now. Viviana is gonna be 41 years old fighting in this fight, and it's like 70% of the time they say the younger fighter wins the fight, and especially because of athleticism. And I don't know if Viviani is gonna have that much of a takedown the takedown defense for Tracy. Like Tracy, her brother's a great wrestler. Her brother hasn't made it to the UFC, but he's a good wrestler. She's a good wrestler. She comes there from a wrestling camp. And I just believe she's going to be able to get this fight to the floor and probably win this in a decision. If you look at that over 2.5, it's crazy. The over 2.5 is set at a minus 600. So nobody thinks this fight is going to get finished. So for this bet, I think the best way to attack this one is Tracy Cortez by decision. I don't think there's a reason to bet Tracy on the money line at all because instead of taking that minus 225 line where Tracy where you can parlay her and stuff, I think just bet her straight up by decision because this fight will go to decision. I don't think she submits Viviani, and I don't think she's gonna knock her out because she doesn't really knock that many people out. But I just think she's gonna lean on her wrestling and probably win this fight, probably by decision.
I got Tracy Cortez. I mean, I've thought about it for a minute or two, like even leading up to this card and stuff. Like same thing we were talking about earlier. It's Tracy Cortez's fight to lose. Like
Mm-hmm.
where it's like she can go out there, she has all the skills, she has the youth,
Mm-hmm.
the athleticism on her to be able to beat her. She has all the tools to be able to beat this girl. It's just how serious she takes it. And the thing is I think we took Rose against her and
Yeah.
Tracy, and a lot of people didn't because Tracy had been doing so good. And the thing is she is a good fighter, you know? It's just how serious she takes it, and not just that, it's like the level of competition where it's like, do you think Vivian is on the level of Rose and those type of fighters? And no, because every time she's fought any of those tier fighters, she's lost. So
Yeah.
it's like they're almost in the same category, if that makes sense, you know? And if you're gonna put them in the same category or rank them at the same level of fighter, then
Hmm.
take the younger and take the more athletic one. And
Yeah.
that just comes down to if she took her camp serious or not. And
Yeah.
if
I
she's
agree with
real,
that.
you know,
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't like if Tracy Cortez takes that big step up in competition, she ends up losing. But I don't. I especially with Viviani being 41 years old now. I think this is honestly
that's
like a
why I
tailor
think
made matchup.
she'll be able to outpace her and everything for 3 rounds. Because especially if let's just say it does go 3 rounds, like everybody says it does, then it's
Hmm.
gonna be a point battle, right?
Yeah.
And so if you're gonna tell me the 41-year-old that's less athletic is going to outpoint the younger fighter and put more pace. I mean, it happens. You've seen it, but it's just not too often in female fighting either. And is Tracy the favorite in that fight?
Yeah, she's a minus 230 favorite.
Yeah, makes
So
sense.
I don't. But do you agree with me what I said about that? About how there's no reason to bet Tracy Cortez at a minus 230, in my opinion. Like if you're gonna take this fight, probably by decision, because I don't think she finishes Viviani.
I mean, 50% of her, Viviana's losses have been by decision, so it's like it's most likely going to go to decision. But it's just like you said, would I want to take the her by decision and then be frustrated that she went out there
Goes to submit her or
and
ground
submits her
counter.
because she is the younger fighter, where if you think it's going to go 3 rounds, which is like most likely goes into like the third round,
Hmm.
then she's going to be the fresher, more hopefully fit fighter, so she might be able to get a finish. That's usually when you see girl fighters finish a fight, is in the third round, you know?
Maybe the better, maybe instead of decision, maybe the better bet would actually be Tracy Cortez to win and over 1.5 rounds. Because I think you're right. If she does get this finish, she's probably gonna do those later rounds after Viviani gets tired and a lot
Yeah.
of the pressure. So maybe the over 1.5 and
Yeah,
Tracy might be
I
the.
don't know if I would wanna do decision because it's just like I said, I mean, girl fights are most likely decision, but you know better than anybody, when everybody's on something, that's when something like that happens. So
Yeah.
it's like if everybody's taking her by decision because that's what everybody thinks Tracy's gonna win and she's supposed to win, and everybody's taking decision, I mean, it might be the case, but it's like you could play it safer and just
Hmm.
use her as a parlay piece because that's not bad odds at the minus 200. Put
Hmm.
her with one of the other fighters at them at a pick 'em or whatever, and give yourself plus money at that, you know? It'd be
Or
a
just
good
put
parlay
Tracy
piece.
in a parlay with Jacoby Smith and just get it down to like a minus 180. Like
I don't know if it'd do that even.
so we're both on Tracy Cortez.
Yeah.
So now this next fight, a featherweight fight, where the odds and if you look at Tapology and the odds, two different things. The next fight is Jose Miguel Delgado taking on Hyder Emil, and the odds say Delgado is a minus 140 favorite, minus 130 favorite. It keeps jumping up and down. But if you go to Tapology and you see the predictions of who Tapology thinks is going to win from the people voting on it, um, Hyder Emil has 70% of the votes for by fans that he's going to win this fight. But the odds tell you that it's going to be Jose Delgado winning this fight. This one, very close fight. Very close fight. Going to be a crazy fight because one thing about Hyder Emil, all of his fights are entertaining. This guy throws down. He has a good chin and he just keeps coming forward and throws down. And he has some okay wrestling as well. But honestly, I'm going to be going with Jose Delgado. This guy fights out of a great camp. He's a young fighter that's on a winning streak at the moment, and he's getting better every single fight. And he trains out of a great camp in the MMA lab in Arizona, and he's trained with a lot of good training partners. And I just like fighters out of the MMA lab. I really do. These guys get better every single fight, and they have a really good camp over there. But I think this fight is going to come down to if Jose Delgado can outlast Hyder Emil's like first outburst. because Jose Delgado, the way he wins this fight is, first of all, he's got to stop some takedowns. Because Hyder Mill probably will try to shoot a couple times. He's got to stop some takedowns. From what I've seen that Jose Delgado has some decent takedown defense at the moment. And he hasn't fought a legit great wrestler yet, but Hyder Emil is not one of these great wrestlers. And I just think he's gonna have to stay on the outside and pick Hyder Emil apart and probably just move around the ring, keep that moving, use his long jab because he is gonna be the taller fighter, he is gonna be the longer fighter, and he's the younger fighter. And I do believe he's gonna be able to probably just pick him apart from the outside. Like I said, the Tapology numbers say Hyder Emil, the odds say Delgado is the favorite. But this one should be a, I think honestly by fight time, by fight day, this might go down to a pick 'em. This actually might, because like I said, it might be a pick 'em at the end of the day. This is a 50-50 fight. And I get what some people are saying. If it's a 50-50 fight and it's this close, you might as well take the underdog, take that plus money and Hyder Emil. But I don't like, one thing about me, I don't take odds because of odds. I'm like, I don't like be like, oh, it's a close fight, take the underdog. I like, he's gonna win. I might as well just bet him. So for this one, I'm gonna pick Jose Delgado to get this one done.
So the bookies have Jose Delgado as a favorite, and then but everybody's picking the other dude.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm telling you, the bookies know shit that we don't. It always will be that way. Like, and it's very rare that we look at a fight like -2000. I mean, as much as it's wild odds and it's crazy to put a fighter at that high of odds, the
Hmm.
reason they do it is because it's like a looking at it at any other betting type of thing, right? It's like 99 to 1 odds. Like it's like the 99% chance that this dude is going to win and there's like a 1% chance that Nico Price wins, you know? So
Hmm.
that's why they put it like that, you know? And so it's like at that, right, where it's like if he's the favorite, it's not that they for say, like you said, say he's gonna 100% win or whatever like that. It's just they lean, these are all odds makers and people that deal with the sport every day. And that's why I've always told you where it's like
Hmm.
usually when people are, I mean, favorites win more often than not. They
Yeah.
do. It's just that's the something people don't like to say and people don't like because everybody's looking for that dog spot, everybody's looking for that money spot. But it's just like you said where it's like everybody's probably on the other dude because it's 50-50, like you
Hmm.
said, and they can take the money on him. The one stat that I seen that I liked from it, from just looking through it, was just that the other dude, the Jose Delgado, um uh only fight that he's lost was by decision, I believe. So it's not like he's a dude that's like getting beat crazy. He's only lost one fighter, and it was by decision. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then he beats everybody by sub or TKO. So it's just, I mean, it sounds like he's either gonna go out there and sub or TKO him, and then the other dude, I mean, he's not bad. Just like you said, I mean, it could go either way, but I would lean the dude you're talking about. I don't know either of them, so.
Hmm. I agree what you say about how the bookies know most of the time. Like, I'll put it this way: the bookies know the bookies know that Tapology has 70% people are taking Hyder a meal. So what they might actually do just to get people to lose some money, the bookies know what they're doing. They probably are sitting here like, okay, 70% of the people are on Hyder a meal. You know what we're gonna do? We think Jose Delgado's gonna win, but so we're gonna show plus money on Hyder Mill, so more people take that plus money, and then they end up losing. Because most people, I feel like, after they go to Tapology, they see that 73% of people are taking Hyder Mill. They're gonna think, oh, Hyder Mill's a favorite, and then they go to the odds, and then they see Delgado's the favorite, and they're like, what? This is easy plus money. So I just think, like I said, longer fighter, younger fighter, fights out of a good camp out of Arizona, the MMA lab. He trains with people every day that fight, not fight just like Hyder Emil, because it's hard to find a fighter like Hyder Emil that just keeps coming forward and doesn't stop. And but I just think Jose Delgado picks him apart on the outside and probably wins this fight. I don't know if he's probably not going to be able to finish Hyder Emil because Hyder Emil has a decent chin, but I think Jose Delgado probably wins this fight via decision.
What
All
would
right,
Hyder Mills' uh route to victory be if you've seen it for him?
he's not knocking out Jose Delgado, in my opinion. Like
That's what I
he's
thought.
not.
That's why
So
I was
it's
saying
gonna
like,
it's gonna go to decision most likely, and the over 2.5 might be a good play because it might be a good play over 2.5 on this one because I do believe this fight goes to decision. But
So whichever side you guys are on, if you guys are on the Jose Delgado side, if you guys are on the Hyder Mill side, take it by decision.
yeah.
Right here on the wager zone.
And then you're gonna get plus money. You're gonna get plus money at one of them by decision. So it's gonna be a really good fight. But I do believe it goes to decision. But I'm taking the
Yeah.
Jose Delgado side. Now the next fight, guys, middleweight division. It's gonna be Jack Hermanson taking on Gregory Rodriguez. This one, I'm taking RoboCop. I'm taking
RoboCop.
Gregory. I'm taking Gregory Rodriguez. I think Jack Hermanson's getting up there in age now. I think he's had a lot of fights, and I think the only way he wins this fight is literally by his takedowns because he doesn't have the striking to keep up with RoboCop. We've seen what I took Jared Cannonier over Gregory Rodriguez in that fight at plus money, and people told me I was crazy for doing it. And I'm not gonna lie, for those first 2 rounds, I was fucking crazy for taking Jared Cannonier because RoboCop is putting it on Jared Cannonier and beating his ass. But at the same exact time, Gregory gassed out. Jared Cannonier took over those fourth and fifth rounds, ended up winning the fight, and did it pretty good in those later rounds. But this one, a 3-round fight, and a 3-round fight against a guy in Jack Hermanson that's getting up there in age that his only path to victory is wrestling in this one. He's not going to be able to outstrike Gregory Rodriguez at all. Gregory's probably going to put it on him. And Gregory has good takedown defense. We've seen him stop some takedowns. He's very strong. He has decent grappling. Like, he gets better at his grappling all the time. And I see a lot more paths to victory for Gregory Rodriguez than I do for Hermanson. Hermanson's only way of winning this fight is take him down, hold him down, win a decision victory. It's kind of like that fight where it was a 5-round fight against Jack Hermanson took on Joe Pyfer. For those first 2 rounds, Joe Pyfer was up 2-0 on Jack Hermanson, put it on Jack Hermanson, but then Pyfer ended up gassing out. Jack put it on him at those later rounds and won the fight by decision because he won the next 3 rounds. This 3-round fight, Gregory Rodriguez will win those first 2 rounds. And then that third round, even if he gets a little tired, Jack's not going to finish him, in my opinion. So I'm taking Gregory Rodriguez. I think he can knock out Jack. I think he can win a decision victory by Jack, but he probably can't knock him out. But I'm taking Gregory Rodriguez for this one. What about you?
Oh, I got RoboCop. He was on like a Glover type run almost, right? Like everybody
Mm-hmm.
thought RoboCop was gonna get up there until like I knew when he'd get. It's just like I always tell you with Kevin Holland and certain fighters, right? It's just like their destiny is not meant to be champion. It's just
Mm-hmm.
there's the top, and then there's like it's like in the NBA, there's stars and then there's superstars, you know? And so it's like they're just not superstars, they're stars, you know? And that's what RoboCop is. RoboCop is a perfect star.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody that is below top 5 but that's not contending for a title, he is probably going to beat most of the
Mm-hmm.
time, and especially in his division. And the way I look at it is it's the more technical dude for sure. It's the more like poppy, like he kicks and stuff, you know. Jack Hermanson's gonna try to jab and all this. It's the
Mm-hmm.
brute versus the smaller dude. Like not the smaller, but you know what I mean, where it's just
Yeah.
like the more lanky dude, you know? So it's like a brute, a dude that has force. So it's like if you think the only path to victory for Jack Hermanson is taking him down, I don't think he can take RoboCop down because of pure brute force.
Strength.
Just,
Yeah.
just strength. It's not even going to come down to skill at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Like he can trip him and stuff like that. Or like you said, if he catches him, Jack does have good kicks and all this, but he's just out of his prime. He's not the same Jack that
Yeah,
throws.
If this
Yeah.
was Jack 3 years ago, he might have a lot
Jack
good
used to
chance.
be the top 5 people,
Yeah.
you know? He's at this tier now. And he
Mm-hmm.
also got beat by all those higher level people. And he loses to people that are like kind of the same style. He's lost to Jared, he's lost to Tiago Santos. Like the people that he loses to are the more brute style fighters, you
Yeah.
know? And I mean, he
The
lost to
only the
Cosmod and all
I
them
was like the
people, but
only brute style fighter he actually beat was more of a striker. He did beat Joe Pyfer, but that was a couple
no,
years
he didn't
ago.
beat. Oh, did he beat Joe? Yeah, he beat
Yeah,
Joe.
he beat Joe Pyfer a couple years ago, but that was a young Joe Pyfer where Joe Pyfer really just went in there and exploded in the first 2 rounds. He was up 2-0. He was beating him up pretty bad, but then he just gassed out. But after we see Joe Pyfer, what Joe Pyfer just did to Kelvin Gastelum, how he was very patient. He was landing his hard strikes. Kelvin just took the shots, but he was very patient. He didn't gas out because he got better. Joe Pyfer now beats Jack Hermanson. Like if that fight happened again, Joe Pyfer would probably knock out Jack Hermanson because he won't go in there and try to explode in 1 round and try to win the fight. So yeah, I see a lot more passive victory for Gregory Rodriguez. I think RoboCop is the play. I think just taking him at just a regular.
Jack's fought the better people. He has more skill and more experience, but
That's the
Rob.
parlay piece to get plus money with Tracy Cortez. That's it. Tracy Cortez and RoboCop in a parlay. To get some plus money. RoboCop's about a minus 180, minus 190. Tracy Cortez a minus 225. You parlay them together, you get plus money.
There you
Because
go.
I don't really don't see a way Jack wins this fight besides taking him down and holding him down, and I don't see that happening at all. So we're both on the same side for that fight. We both have RoboCop.
Yep.
Now to the main card. That was the main fight of prelims. Now to the main card. First fight of the night for the main card, UFC 317 is going to be Peyton Talbot taking on Felipe Lima. Now this one, Felipe Lima was a bigger favorite. He was up there at a plus 190, almost to minus 200. More money has came in on Peyton Talbot. I believe. I don't know if you're looking at the odds right now, but
No.
the money has came in on Peyton Talbot, and now it's back. He's down to like a plus 150, plus 140 ish for Peyton Talbot. I'm taking Peyton Talbot, guys. I think he's a really good fighter. I just think he had a bad performance against Rioni Barcelos. We've seen what Barcelos just did to Cody Garbrandt this past weekend. He just kept going forward, mixing in wrestling, going forward, and he just ended up beating Cody. But I just think that was a bad performance for Payne Talbot. I think now it's kind of crazy to me what I don't get, which I'm gonna say right now, I'm taking that plus money because we have a guy in Payne Talbot that was a UFC's darling. Everyone loved him after the Contender Series. Everyone loved him coming to the UFC. Everyone said this guy's gonna be future top five. I seen everybody saying he's gonna be a future top five fighter. He's probably gonna be in that top three. People were saying they remind him of that Sean O'Malley type of style of fighting, like that he had that good striking, the movement. Everyone was comparing this guy to the O'Malley side.
He had like
And
a Sean O'Malley mixed with Israel Adesanya. That's
yeah,
the
this
way I
guy,
would put
his
it.
striking is elite. He has the
Hmm.
movement. He has the great striking. But the one thing that he just looked bad in the Barcelos fight is like he couldn't stop a takedown. But if you go to that fight, Rioni Barcelos went 5 for 12 on takedowns. 5 for 12. He shot 12 takedowns against Talbot. Lima's not going to shoot 12 takedowns. He shoots 12 takedowns, he's going to gas out. One thing about Barcelos, he has a gas tank. He doesn't get tired. This guy moves forward, going forward 24/7. Felipe Lima is not going to shoot 12 takedowns to take down Talbot. He's probably shoot about 3, maybe 4. Talbot stopped 6 of Rioni Barcelos takedowns. Or actually 7 of them. He just got taken down, and when he did get taken down, he didn't get back up. But when they were on the feet against Rioni Barcelos, we saw the striking levels were different. He was picking apart Rioni. Rioni, the only way he won was by just shooting takedowns nonstop. He kind of marauded them. It's like, you know what? I'm just going to go in there, just shoot a whole bunch until I eventually get him down. But like I said, Lima's not going to do that. I think this fight's going to be very competitive. I think it's just kind of crazy that we've seen a guy that was minus 1,000, minus 2,000, minus 1,500, minus 800. He loses one fight, has one bad performance. Now we get a plus 140, plus 150 odds on him. It's kind of crazy to me. It seems. And one thing about I think I told you off camera about this. I think he's still Dana White still loves this guy. Dana White didn't like him so much after all the good performances he's had. He loses one fight. Dana still puts him on the main card, the first fight of the main card at International Fight Week at UFC 317. Dana still believes in this guy. And I don't believe Lima. I think Lima's only path to victory is getting this fight to the floor and honestly, probably by submission. I think if he doesn't submit Peyton Talbot, he's going to lose this fight because Peyton's a better fighter. Peyton has the cardio. Peyton just a better all-around striker, and I see plus money on Peyton Talbot, a guy that I believed would be in the top 5 one day. So give me Peyton Talbot. I honestly think he's going to knock out Felipe Lima.
It's such a hard one, just because it's two prospects. Like that's
Hmm.
another thing. Like it reminds me of like a higher level version of the first fight, like
Hmm.
two younger versions of the first fight, where it's just like it's hard to really say who's gonna win the fight, but it's just like you said, I'd take the plus money just because of the simple fact of that he has the skills to beat Felipe Lima, and it's it's like a lot of those people, like Cosmod, all of them. Everybody, like Bo Nickel, everybody's gonna bet the other person until they lose, and it's
Hmm.
like me with Taporia. It's we'll get to that one later, but it's the same
Yeah.
thing, right? Like that would be the same reason going into this fight where it's just people hate on the people that they don't like and for some reason lose and stuff like Bo Nickel and stuff, where it's like Bo Nickel still has a chance to be something. He still has talent and all this. Do I think he is? No, but
Hmm.
there's a lot of people that do, and he still believes that too. And that's the same thing with this kid. He still believes he has the talent to beat anybody. And it's just with like the Sean O'Malley thing. I've always told you, it's what makes somebody great, and comes back to the main event again, but is something Charles said is you got to lose to be able to come back and win.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
I've always the same thing with Connor. One of my favorite things about Connor was how he was able to lose to Nate and then go back and put everything into beating Nate.
Yeah.
So it's just something that I will always, and I couldn't tell you if that's what he's done or whatever. I know you're a bigger fan of the dude, but
Yeah.
I'd take the plus money on him. I was a fan of him too. I liked him when he was coming up. I have um I don't have the biggest read on Felipe Lima or anything, but just based off of my fan perspective and me being like just a fan of Peyton, I would take Peyton with odds aside.
Yeah. And honestly, like you said, I just believe he is gotten better. Like he's in Vegas. He trains with all these great fighters in Vegas. And after that bad performance where he just didn't stop, like I feel like people if they go watch that fight. Yes, he lost the fight. He lost at 30-27. He lost. It was a fight where he just made a mistake every round. He got taken down. Like I said, he stopped 7 of the takedowns. He got
I
taken
know,
down
I
5
remember.
times, and he just made a mistake. And now with how young he is, how athletic he is, a young prospect he is, everyone knows. I guarantee he went back to the drawing board and worked on that takedown defense. And if he just gets a little bit better with his takedown defense from that fight, uh, he's gonna beat Felipe Lima. Like I said, I don't see Felipe Lima going out there and shooting 12 takedowns. Like I don't see him fighting that style. Like even Felipe Lima said in the press conference today, it's gonna be a war. He said, he's like asking, or do you think you're gonna be able to take this guy and submit him right away, or do you believe it's gonna be a war? He said it's gonna be a war because he knows he's not. Felipe Lima is his first time being on the main card of a pay per view. He's never been on a pay per view card before. Peyton's been on 2. So Peyton knows what he has to do. Felipe Lima, I believe he's gonna want to come out here and make a name for himself. He wants to come out here and be like, you know what, I'm gonna try to knock this guy out. I want to make it a fun fight. And if he tries to do that in any way against Peyton Talbot, he will get put to sleep. He will get knocked out, in my opinion. So, like I said, we're both on the plus money. We're both taking Peyton Talbot for this fight. You have anything else to say about this one?
It's just it can go two ways. Just like I've always told you this, where it's like there's the two type of fighters, right? I'll give you an example: Johnny Walker, and you got Brandon Moreno. One
Mm-hmm.
loses and or they both lose, and it's all about how they come back, and it's all about if they make the adjustments. The one of my favorite fights of all time was Izzy Alex when they fought for the rematch and Izzy beats him. Was it
Mm-hmm.
was it was minor adjustments, just the most minor adjustments that were able to give him the victory in that fight. And I think it just comes down to how bad a fighter wants it. And in my opinion, Talbot wants it bad enough, and I'm a fan of the dude, so I think he wants it bad enough where he was willing to go make those adjustments and go train hard enough to come back and know that as long as I don't let these dudes just hold me, I'm gonna beat them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
So yeah, we're both on Peyton Talbot. I do both believe he's probably going to get better into this training camp and win this fight. So for the next fight of the main card, guys, it's going to be Beneil Dariush taking on Money Hanato Moicano. And this one, guys, I'm not going to lie. This is the probably the most competitive fight of the night, in my opinion. This one is probably going to be back and forth. This one, I don't have the best read on. I'm going to tell you guys right now. Earlier in the week, I was taking Hanato Moicano all the way up until today. Today, I have switched my pick. I'm taking Beneil Dariush. Benil, I just believe is the better all-around fighter. I'm not gonna lie. The only reason I've bet against Hanato Moicano many times. I took Jalen Turner over him. I took, what's it called? Benoit Saint Denis over him. The Saint Denis fight was very surprising for me. How he just held him down through many elbows over and over and over again. That one was just kind of a crazy fight for me to see Hanato Moicano do that to him. The Jalen Turner one, Jalen should have won that fight. Jalen should have won that fight, but Jalen's just, I don't know. He's retired now, so I want to leave the guy alone. I don't want to say he's bad IQ fighting. Just like
Same thing as Terrence McKinney, bro. I'm telling
one of
you.
the talents that should have been a top five, top three fighter, but just doesn't have the fight IQ and take Jalen Turner. Jalen Turner cracks Hanato Moicano. Moicano is rocked. I'm talking about if you watch that fight again, he's rocked. He lays down and says, eyes literally just like can't even really stick. Jalen Turner does a walk-off, turns around and walks away like, all right, it's over. Renato Moicano gets back up because the referee doesn't stop the fight. Jalen gasses out after that first round
He
because he
was
put it
so
on him.
hot.
I was so mad at Jalen, man. You guys don't understand how mad I was. Like, if he would have just
No, you
followed
were
up, just
you were mad at the ref because you were like, "Why, bro?
why
You
do you
stop
stop it? Just stop
it."
the fight. But he literally just told McConnell, get back up. Go ahead, come on, take like 5 seconds. You can get your head back, get back up. Jalen walked off. It's like this game fight's over. He gasses out after the first round because after McConnell gets back up, he tries to just go forward and throws everything. And he doesn't. He gasses out. McConnell comes back, wins that fight. So that was a fight where I'm like, McConnell should have lost that one. The Benoit Saint Denis fight, very surprising. Very
It
surprising.
was. It was.
I just thought Saint Denis would be the overall better grappler. I thought he had the cardio to move forward. Hanato went in there and just said, "Nah." Like he says, McConnell wants some fucking money, and I'm going to get some damn money. So this one now, Benil Dariush. I don't see how McConnell was better than Dariush. I don't. Hanato Moicano doesn't have the best wrestling. What he does have, he has jiu-jitsu. If he gets you down to the floor, his jiu-jitsu could take over on the floor. But Neil has legit jiu-jitsu too. He's a black belt as well. And Benil's the better wrestler. Benil's overall the better wrestler. I don't think Hanato's going to be able to take him down. And if we go to the striking, Hanato doesn't hit that hard. Where Benil, we know he doesn't have the best chin, where he can get caught and get knocked out. But I don't see Hanato hitting that hard. He doesn't hit that hard. He throws jabs. He kind of does that pillow touching, move around until he can get to his grappling. And I just believe Dariush is going to be able to crack Moicano. Dariush can crack, and Moicano does not have a good chin. We've seen this guy dropped over and over again in his UFC career. He gets hit hard, he drops. And now I just think it's going to be, like I said, a competitive fight. If you guys are on Moicano, I don't blame you. But I was on Moicano mainly because of that. I feel like I fell into the hype train of Moicano wants money. Like I fell into that hype train for this fight at the beginning of the week. But now I'm like, after watching tape, after studying this a little more, I think Benil wins this fight. I think Benil has a good chance of knocking him out. And I think Benil has something to prove in this fight because I feel like everyone's hopping off of Benil now. I feel like everyone is saying, "Oh, Benil's done. Benil's old." But I'm like, this guy's not that old. Yes, his hair is all gray, but this guy's not that old. He's only like, was it like 4 months older than Moicano? Both of these guys are up there in age. So for this fight, give me Benil Dariush. I'm taking him. I think he's a plus 100, maybe a minus 105. Might be a pick him at the moment, but I'm taking Benil Dariush in this one.
I got Dariush. And this one was like Moicano is funny and like he's entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
But this is like the good guy versus the bad guy. I think you sent it to me earlier, where it's just
Yeah.
like
Also,
Benil's just
Benil's
such
so
a nice
nice.
dude.
Yeah.
Like he's just such a good dude. And to me, they're the same fighter. They're both all around fighters. They're MMA fighters. You
Mm-hmm.
get, I mean, one's not a striker or one's not a grappler or they're like all around fighters. But if
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna tell me which one of the two is better at being an all around MMA fighter, like It'd be different if Moicano was like the greatest striker and not a good ground dude or whatever. Then
Mhm.
you're like, okay, he's gonna go knock out Dariush, or oh, he's the greatest ground dude. He's gonna go take Dariush down and submit him. But to me, they're just both really good at everything. Like they're just both really good at everything. But the difference is Dariush is better at everything than he is.
Mhm.
And striking, ground game, the all around MMA aspect of it. If I had to say, I'd say he beats him by decision.
Yeah.
I would say Benil just does it. I mean, which is usually how he ends up winning. You know, I just don't know how like all those fights that Moicano wins and stuff is all like you said, just like the person making a mistake or this happens, and then Saint Denis just had no confidence. Like Dariush
Yeah.
has all the confidence, super nice, has all the skills, and the one reason Dariush loses is because he just happened to come across people that really knew how to crack, like
Yeah.
really knew how to bang, and he took some shots that, like, because that's what he does. He'll take some to give some. He'll just like I said, he's an all-around MMA fighter. He'll take some to give some. He'll grind you out. He'll put you up against the fence. He'll clinch with you. He'll do every aspect of the MMA game. And I feel like Moicano does the same thing. So I get what you said, where you could take either side. I just
Mhm.
think if I had to pick, and again, based off my fan, like I'm a fan of Dariush more than I am Moicano. Um, I'd take Dariush, just especially the money line, baby, plus money.
Yeah. That's I said. If a fight's this close, take the underdog. Like I said, it might be a dog or pass. It might be one of those ones you might not even want to bet on. I mean, but trust me, like if you're a gambling degenerate like I am, you're gonna have to put some money on this fight.
Nah,
Yeah, but
I'm big on Dariush. I've always been a big. I thought he had a chance to be champion, and so
yeah,
I
he
would put my
just
money on him. Like I would take him over. What was the dog we said earlier? That Broshayev or whatever.
oh
Borshev. I would
Vladislav.
take him over Borshev as a dog. I'd take him over.
You take him over Peyton Talbot as a dog.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think Felipe has a better chance of beating Peyton than Moyacano does than beating Dariush.
yeah, but
But
I want to
I'm
see
still
how
on the Talbot side. But yeah, out of all the
I want to
dogs
see
so
how the
far,
odds are
yeah,
gonna. I want to see how the odds are gonna fill out by fight time because money's gonna come in fight day. I want
yeah,
to
I
know
gotta
if
look right now.
Benil's gonna be a bigger underdog because I feel like a lot of people are gonna go into the hype train of Moicano wants money and we might actually get higher plus money on
Well,
Dariush.
and you
Honestly.
know how the press conference, like you just said, the press conference always makes you lean a fighter a certain way too, betting
Hmm.
wise. So it's like he did win the press conference, but like I don't think he won in the way like he affected Dariush. I think he just won in like the fact that he was entertaining. You know,
And one thing I want to say too is Dariush is the bigger guy. He's stronger. He is the bigger guy too. So that's
he
another
is. I
thing. He has
swear, I'm. Dariush about to remind people who he is.
so yeah, we're both on agreement on that one. It seems like we're both on agreement on a lot of these fights. There's a couple we have different, but
The ones I
I
was against you was the ones that, like I told you, I just out of the blue. I don't really know who the people are, and
mhm.
for controversy's sake, I'll go against a couple of them just because. I mean, like the dude looked like Matt Sarah. That don't bet him because I said that. Like,
He said Alvin Hines. Don't bet Alvin Hines because he looks like Matt Sarah. Well, let's get into this next fight. This next fight, I believe we're going to be on a different side. I think honestly, these next three fights, me and you might be different on. So
maybe.
this next fight, Brandon Royval taking on Joshua Van. I'm on the Joshua Van side. I'm on this hype train. I like this guy a lot. Like this guy, I've been a big fan of Van since he came to the UFC. Like this guy's boxing is legit. He has great boxing. He has great hands. Probably he might be a top 5 boxer in the UFC. If you guys look how he goes to the body, he comes up back up top. And like I said, this guy's a very young prospect. He's getting better every single fight. Every single fight he's getting better at. I think the only way Royval wins this fight, in my opinion, is if he outgrapples him. He takes him down. Joshua Vance's takedown defense is getting better and better. Like when he was younger, yes, I did like if this fight was probably like a year ago, Brandon Royval might be the play because Brandon Royval will probably take him down and grapple him. But now with Joshua Van just getting better and better, like he's had 3 fights where I've seen in a row where I'm like, every single fight he is getting better. And his takedown defense is there. And if Royval doesn't get this fight to the floor, I think he's just going to get outboxed. I think this fight's just going to be probably end up on the feet and probably going to be a back and forth fight where I don't know if Van's going to be able to finish Royval because Royval is. But one thing about these guys too, like they both have the cardio. They both have a good chin. They both have the cardio, so it's probably going to go to decision. And I'm just going to be on the Van side. It's a very close fight. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to sit here and say I just think Van's going to dominate him. But very close fight. But I just think Joshua Van just like he's the young upcoming prospect. I do believe he's going to get a title fight after he beats Royval in this one. He might be next up for the winner of Pantoja and Kai Car France.
Oh,
So I'm taking Van.
and Dana said in the thing, but it's, I mean, who else is there to fight?
Yeah.
Whoever. I mean, unless Kai wins, but we'll go over
Yeah.
that next or whatever. But um, my official pick would be Brandon Royval. I
Mm-hmm.
want Van to win. I mean, my heart wants Van to win. Do I think he wins? I just don't. I don't know. Like you said, either one could win. The one thing that I've always said about Van though was that his cardio and like when it when he's beating up these dudes, he looks really good.
Mm-hmm.
But when any pressure has came his way and he has to take it, like, but I mean, he can take it, like you said, on the chin and stuff like that, because he takes one to give one. I've watched him do that. But when the fight doesn't seem to be going his way all the time, is when it seems to get harder on him. His mouth starts to open. He seems
Mm-hmm.
to lose that momentum and all that. And the one person you don't want to do that against is somebody like Roy Val that can fight the fight for all rounds, has all out cardio, is going to come out there. He's not going to be scared of Van. He's not going to
Mm-hmm.
be he's going to be willing to take a punch to give a punch to Van too. And the thing to me is I feel like Roy Val is going to be able to take it better and give it better than
Mm-hmm.
Van. And I do think Van's boxing is better, just like you said, where it's but when he gets hit is going to be the benefactor to me, where it's like I think once he does get hit from the pressure of Roy Val, as long as Roy Val doesn't get knocked out, once he gets him at all, it's going to turn the favor towards Roy Val in his favor. So that's why I would be leaning Roy Val. And that's just it's hard because then that's taken almost 3 dogs in a row, and the at least on Bovada, the uh, odds for Benil and Renato is minus 103. Benil Dariush minus 117. So it's a
Mm-hmm.
pick 'em basically.
Since you're on Bovada at the moment, what are the odds? I didn't know the exact odds of McKinney over or Vladislav. Like, what are the odds on that one? Just to go back to that fight because
I'll
I
go
didn't
through and
know.
say them all real quick, at least on here. So Jackson, the Moose McVeigh is a dog plus 133. Christopher Ewert is
I thought he was the favorite. So Jackson McVeigh's the dog right now.
yeah,
Oh damn.
at least on Bovada's
Yeah,
thing, because
Bovada.
you know DraftKings and all those other ones are different. Shout out DraftKings, shout out Prize Pick, shout out my bookie, Bovada, all those great companies. Um, you know how Jonata Diniz is minus 320. He's a big favorite. You know that.
Hmm.
Jacoby's a minus 2200.
Damn.
That's crazy. Nico Price is a plus 1,000.
Plus
Borshev is
1,000.
a plus 137. McKinney's a minus 163.
Hold on, minus 163. Damn, on the what's it called? On the highlight, I was not the highlight. The on the highlight I was looking at said McKinney was a minus 250 or minus 260. So minus 163, guys, go put some money on Terrence McKinney at a minus 163. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. Go put some money on Terrence McKinney right now before that odds go away.
Then Tracy Cortez is a favorite, minus 245 plus 205 at Viviana. And then Hyder Emil's the dog at plus 133, like you said. Jose
Mm-hmm.
Delgado's minus 155. Uh, RoboCop's the favorite at -235. Jack Hermanson's +195. This is probably still the best dog. I mean, because Dariush isn't considered a dog. Best pick'em of the day is Dariush on the
Yeah,
50-50.
I agree.
Best dog of the day is Peyton, though. At a +155, that is so disrespectful to have
I
Felipe at a
that
minus
might be the
almost
most
200.
that might be the most disrespectful line I've seen. The guy lost one fight and now they're putting
Unless
him at
just like
plus
I
money.
mean, other than just like I told you before, unless we're just smoked out and we're just too big of fans of the dude, and the line and the bookies see
I'm
something
betting
we
on
don't,
I'm
and
betting on
they
Peyton Talbot just
fucking
because Frank Ocean. Oh, you froze. That Frank Ocean likes him. So you know what? We put in Peyton Talbot because of Frank Ocean.
and so yeah, then the pick 'em on Moicano and Dariush, and then
Hmm.
Roy Val, where we're at right now, is a
Yeah.
+102, and Joshua Van is a -122, and
Okay,
that's
so
from the
some money's came in on Van then.
yeah.
Okay, so that's what see. We got to fight different. Actually, we got to fight that's actually different. We like you're on Royval, I'm on Van. So for that one, like I said,
I
that's a close
want Van
fight.
to win. Like I said, I hope he does, and I'd be happy if he won because he's a good prospect, and I want to see him win. But I just honestly, I told you, I thought Roy Val had a chance to be champion, and he just kind of
Hmm.
kept fucking it up for himself. So
Yeah. So now next fight, guys, co-main event of the night: Kai Kara France taking on Alexandre Pantoja. And guys, this one I'm taking the dog. I'm taking Kai Kara France. I think Kai Kara France is going to be the champion of this division. I thought Kai Kara France had a good chance of being champion for a while. I think he was just young and kept making mistakes. And now I think he's at that point where he's going to end up winning this fight. I think Kai Kara France is a very good underdog play. He's over a +200. I do believe this is going to be a very close fight. So I think the odds are totally off. This is one of those fights where I say I don't like betting the odds just because of the odds. I do think Kai Kara France wins just by looking at tape and everything. But at that odds, guys, you might as well just take Kai Kara France. I don't think Pantoja is a good parlay piece at all. I think a lot of people are going to be adding Pantoja to parlays, and I think that one could be a parlay buster. So I don't think that's a good play to take him. I see it as the only way that it's to me it's striker versus grappler. I know the grappler wins for the most part, but I think Kai Kara France's takedown defense has gotten a lot better since he was younger. I think he's gonna be able to keep this fight standing up, and I think he's gonna piece up Alexander Pantoja. I think he could probably get a late round knockout, maybe those third or fourth round get a knockout, but I do see a way where Pantoja wins. If he gets Kai Kara France down to the floor, I just like yeah, he's a better overall grappler. His jiu-jitsu is elite. But when I've seen about I go to that fight where Kai Kara fought against Brandon Royval, where Kai Kara stopped a lot of Brandon Royval. I mean, with Brandon Moreno, when he stopped a lot of Moreno's takedowns, Moreno couldn't get him down. Moreno has really good wrestling. I think Pantoja's jiu-jitsu is better than Brandon Moreno's, but his wrestling is not as good as Brandon Moreno's. I think Brandon Moreno has a better wrestling. So, in my opinion, I just think that Brandon, what's it called? Kai Kara France is going to be able to stop the takedowns from Alexandra Pantoja, keep this fight standing up, and winning this fight probably by a decision or a knockout. And I think we're going to see a new champion in this division. So, give me Kai Kara France that big plus money.
And before I get into mine, make sure and like and subscribe to the channel, everybody. The
Yep.
wager zone.
If you guys are here for the first time, I said this in the beginning too. If you guys are here for the first time, like the video, subscribe to the page, go check out my Cage Warriors breakdown, go check out my PFL breakdown. Tomorrow I will have my another UFC breakdown out just for a quick run through for props and
With
everything.
all
I'll
your
give you guys my
picks and
props of the
everything
day,
in the
all my picks.
description with
Go check
everything.
out
So
go check out the description. I put all my bets in the description for my Cage Warriors and my PFL. Tomorrow I'll have my UFC 317 video out with my description, having all my bets of what I'm actually going to be taking. And also I will have Cage Warriors. We have two Cage Warriors events this week, guys. We have Cage Warriors 190 Unplugged. That's on tomorrow. Saturday morning we have Cage Warriors 191 we will have out. So go check out all those videos and stay tuned for this one. So who you got in this Alexander Pantoja fight?
and you know me, I've always been a big Pantoja hater, like
Mm-hmm.
from
Like
the
I was the
very
one that
start.
I knew I was the one that was betting Pantoja all the way up.
You
Like
actually did like Pantoja, and I'm leaning the Pantoja way in this one, just because, just almost like the same thing with the last fight, where it's just I think what has been winning him the fight, even against like, bro, I'm a big Brandon Moreno fan, and
Hmm.
I was hoping he would beat him. And it's just the simple fact is just Pantoja is great, not good,
Hmm.
great, and not just at one thing, all of the above. He's just an all around MMA fighter, and
Yeah,
it's hard to beat those type of dudes when you have one style, you know? And that's
yeah.
the one that would be the only not. It's to me it's knockout or bust for Kai. And if he does it, good. But I think that he's gonna go on a run of like Pantoja and defend and all. I wouldn't view it that way, even if he knocks him out. I think if they
I
fought
agree.
I think if they fought 10 times,
Pantoja
Pantoja
wins probably
wins
more.
more than Kai Kara France does.
Hmm.
So based off of that, that's why I'd go with Pantoja.
I agree with that point to where I do think Kai Kara wins tomorrow. I think Kai Kara tomorrow on Saturday. I
It'd
think
be
Kai.
lit. It would be fucking. I mean, I told you, I've always been the dude that were like the Pantoja type of dudes. Like, I'd love to see him get knocked out or whatever, but it's like it comes down to like the next fight that we're gonna talk about, like Topuria, bro.
Mhm.
It's just at some point you like even me as like not a fan of the dude and not liking them as a fighter and all this, and I like other people. I have to respect just like John Jones. Everybody can sit there and say whatever they want to say about John
Never
Jones,
lost.
but he still is
The
like
goat.
one of the best fighters to ever fight, ever,
Hmm.
ever. Yeah, he ducked John or Tom Aspinall. Yeah, he ducked fucking Ngannou and all that, but he's older. Fuck it. Like Khabib did the same shit.
Yeah, yeah. Like I mean, like I said, I don't. I hate. I like going. Just go to the John Jones thing real quick before we get into this main event. Like real quick, guys. Like I said, I'm on Kai Car France a big plus money. He's taking Pantoja. He thinks Pantoja wins, and still, I think and new. But let's get right into that John Jones thing right before the main event. I don't think he ducked Tom Aspinall. Everyone's saying he ducked Tom Aspinall, and I come on, guys. This man had two heavyweight fights. Yes, it was against an old Stipe. Yes, he beat Cyril Gahn. But at the same exact time, what would you guys do? You guys are the greatest of all time at this point. You have nothing else to prove. You are the greatest MMA fighter in the
That's where
history of
it's different with
MMA.
him and Khabib, though.
Yeah.
Khabib left because he was content with being great, and he was Khabib is as much as I never liked the dude or whatever in his fights was great, bro, great, like one of the greatest fighters to ever touch the octagon.
Hmm.
But the difference is he left on his terms. You get what
Yeah.
I mean? Where John has always I don't think John left because he was content and just like that's what I mean by that. I don't think he does is scared of Tom Aspinall in
I
any
think he beats
way.
Tom Aspinall, honestly.
But the thing that think is I think John up here can't deal with the shit that goes on 24/7. John,
Hmm.
like everybody has always said, he's a narcissist, all these things. I think in John's head, the public perception, everything was getting to him. It wasn't that, it's not the fighting that's the problem. I think everybody said that his whole career. It's not the fighting with John Jones that has ever been the problem. It's that he doesn't show up and he doesn't do the shit that he needs to do to fight, actually fight.
The
Like,
one thing about John, his whole career, he's done this. I've seen many interviews with different people about John. When he's not in camp, he's not one of these guys that's training like all the
yeah,
time.
that's what I mean. So
He
it's
trains when he's in camp. Like he gets better in camp.
his mind is like, and I told you this, the one thing that I never liked about John Jones is when he came back and he tried to play the good guy, because you could tell from somebody that actually has a heart, you could tell that it was never coming from his heart. And so
Hmm.
the way that I always felt was he was just trying to fill a void that he has in his
It's
head.
kind of like it's kind of
He
like
has
when
all these
Connor came back
problems,
too.
bro.
It's kind of like
What?
when it's kind of like when Connor came back in that
Yeah,
first Dustin Poirier fight. Like that
yeah.
wasn't him. Like he was just trying to change a persona a little bit for himself. But
But Connor is pure entertainment, and that's what he has known. Where it's like John Jones has never been that. He's always been known as the greatest fighter. So it's like he's always held on to that, and like I said before, he could probably beat any person in this universe in the world. Like
mhm.
he's one of the most dangerous men in this world. But the thing is It's like the Michael Jordan thing. We've talked about it with Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan at some point couldn't deal with his emotions and certain things, why he left the NBA because his dad died and all these things. And, um, or was it his dad died?
Yeah, his dad got
Yeah.
killed. Yeah.
Yeah. So all these things you have to deal with as a man and all these things. And people like him didn't deal with it very well, and neither had John Jones. John Jones has never dealt with none of that. So I think that's why he left. I don't
I
think it was because
I,
he
I
doesn't
think
want to fight, you know?
I don't know if people can call this ducking. If you're in the comments, let me know if you think this is ducking. Let me know if you guys think he ducked Tom Aspinall or not, because I don't. Like, to me, it's like, what did he have to win? Yeah, okay, look, you beat Tom Aspinall. You're still the greatest of all time. You're still the undisputed champion. You're still undefeated. You lose to Tom Aspinall, everyone takes away your greatest of all time. Everyone's like, "Oh, he's not the greatest of all time anymore. He lost to Tom Aspinall. He did like, well, I told you guys he lost." So, bro, this man is almost 40 years old, the greatest of all time at this point. What, like I said, it was a lose lose for John. That's why he wanted to get paid so much money for it. He's like, "Give me a whole bunch of money," like, because, like I said, you win, you're still what you are. Like, you're not, no perception is not changed of you. You lose, everything goes away. Like, so, like, to me, it's not ducking. It's being smart. There's no reason. It's like when Floyd
No,
retired.
what
It's
would have
like
been
when Floyd
smart is
Mayweather,
him to just beat Stipe and retire, bro.
instead of prolonging people.
That was the problem, and everybody said it, bro. Everybody had a problem. It wasn't nothing to do that John didn't want to, like, if John wanted to retire, it was the fact that John wanted to come out and act like he could beat Tom and act like this, and then just go off into the sunset. Don't do that. Don't You can't and fuck
I
with
think he
his
didn't. I
time,
think he wanted the money. He wanted to get paid a certain amount.
bro.
And
It's almost a Ngannou thing where you can outprice yourself all you want, but it's at some point you win that fight and you go win that fight, you are the biggest thing in the world at this point.
because he'd rather fight Nagano right now than Tom Aspinall. Like, if they were
Which is
like,
just dumb, bro. It's
like,
just
because he knows he'd whoop Nagano. He knows he'd whoop Nagano. Like, he knows. Like, he knows
and
damn
like
well
I said,
Nagano has done before
I
him.
think he's the greatest fighter of all time. Like I said, I think it all came down to his mental shit where it's like, which is why he's not doing none of it.
But yeah, all right, let's get right to this main event. Let's get off of the John Jones topic. I just wanted to let you guys know about what I thought about John Jones and stuff like that, because, like, I don't see it as ducking. I see it as a guy that has nothing to win, nothing, like, everything to lose, nothing to win. So why even take the fight? But let's get right to this UFC 317, guys. UFC 317 main event. The reason why this card is here: Topuria versus Oliveira. Topuria wins this fight. He's a double champion, two different divisions. Oliveira wins this fight. Man, this guy has a historic book career, like one of those movie type careers where you're just like, he was about to get dropped from the UFC because he kept losing so much. No one ever thought he would eventually get to that champion. He becomes champion. This guy, and if he loses the title, comes back and then beats Topuria, this upcoming guy that everyone says is going to be the next top dog, like next face of the UFC, and beats him, man, it'd be a movies type fight, a movie type career, in my opinion. But getting to this breakdown, I'm thinking Topuria. I think Topuria is a great parlay piece, especially if you want to put him in your most confident parlay and you guys like hedging out. You guys want to hedge out at the end of the night. You got a giant plus money on Oliveira to hedge out on your parlay piece at the end of the night. But a lot of people say hedging out is for whims. We don't hedge out our bets. We keep it in. But I'm taking Topuria. One thing about me, guys, I've been a Topuria you hear me? Topuria fan. I've been a Topuria fan since the beginning. I've been on this guy since he made his debut against Yusuf Zalal. I told
Well,
everybody,
hand
guys.
sanitizer, boy.
Yeah, see, so I've been on this guy since Yusuf Zalal debut. Like, I remember watching the fight with my friends when he first made his debut, and everyone was like, "Yusuf Zalal is gonna beat him. Yusuf Zalal is the next guy." Which I like Yusuf Zalal. I'm a big fan of Yusuf too. But I was like, guys, this guy's different. This guy is. I watched him in Cage Warriors. I was like, this guy is gonna be a champion one day. Like, he is legit. Won his debut. People kept betting against him all the way up. He won every single fight all the way up. Then he got to the Volkanovski fight. I had everyone telling me Volkanovski's going to beat him. Everyone was like, Volkanovski's too much for him. I'm like, guys, he's going to knock out Volkanovski. I'm like, I guarantee he's going to knock out Volkanovski. He knocks out Volkanovski. Max fight comes around. Everyone tells me Max is going to beat him. Everyone's like, no, Max. I've been telling people this Topuria is going to be a champion for a while. He fights Max. I told everybody he's going to be the first one to finish Max. I was like, watch, he's going to knock out Max Holloway. No one believed me. Everyone was like, no, he's Max Holloway doesn't get knocked out. He's going to lose. Max going to put it on him. He knocks out Max. Like, nobody knocks out Max. This guy's power is legit. This guy has probably the best boxing in the UFC. Hands down, best boxer in the UFC. This guy is wild. Like, if you guys watch Teddy Atlas, you guys know who Teddy Atlas is. Teddy Atlas even said his boxing is probably good enough to be a world champion boxer. This guy has the greatest technique in UFC he's ever seen with the hands wise. And one thing people don't understand about Topuria, coming up to the UFC, even in the beginning, he was a grappler. This guy was winning fights by submission. He was submitting guys. He was taking them down, and he just learned to be a boxer. And he still has that grappling in his bag. And I do believe he's going to come out here and knock out Charles Oliveira. I think Charles is going to try to pressure forward. I think Charles is going to try to be right in front of him, and that's not what you want to do against Topuria. You want to beat Topuria, probably you have to matador the matador. You have to have him come forward, counter strike against him. That's probably the only way to victory against him. But if you come forward at him and you're going to be in the pocket with this guy, he's going to crack you in the chin. He's going to put you to sleep. And that's what I think is going to happen to Charles. I think it's going to come down where both guys are going to be right in the middle, swinging, and he's going to end up knocking out Topuria. So I'm taking Topuria. I think he does it by knockout, spectacular knockout, just like how the Max, this is how the Alexander Volkanovski fight went. And this guy is going to be a double champion. And Islam better watch out for this guy because he's coming. He is coming for Islam. I think this is the only guy that has a chance to beat Islam. So give me Topuria, double champion, and new.
The person that he was talking about that always was saying that he was going to get beat was me. I'm going to do it again. Give me Charles, man. I'm a movie type of person. I like a movie. I like a happy ending. And you know what? We're going to go with Charles, man, by flying fucking arm triangle. He's going to submit him in the craziest way possible. That's how I picture this fight going. The most 1 in a million shit, because that's the only way he's gonna win this fight.
You're like my heart. You're like my heart tells me Charles. But your head,
I'm not even a big Charles dude, but I'm one of those people that, like, Topuria has proved it to me. Like I've told you, like, he's one of those people that have done it time and time again. Where it's like, especially after he beat Max, I was like, you beat Max, like, you got my respect, like, especially if you really knocked out Max, like you have all my respect in the world. You are one of the greatest fighters. No matter what you do, if you lose to Charles, you will still be a great. But with that being said, I can't stand the dude. The dude gets on my fucking nerves. He's annoying. I feel like he just is too much sometimes. I feel like what I told you yesterday, where I honestly feel like Charles deserves it more. He came from nothing. Temporia's came from money and all this shit. Like, at the end of the day, give me Charles, but Temporia's probably the better fighter. He's fought, he's proved it at this point that he can bang with any of these dudes and beat any of the best dudes in the planet. So, and Charles is one of those people that are beatable. So, and the thing is Topuria has shown that he's not beatable. So it's like it's gonna be hard for. So I say, give me a flying arm triangle or some shit. Like, give me some crazy shit, like fucking a standing rear naked choke, like he's done before, like just on his back with him standing up, because I could see Topuria trying not to go down, and he just chokes him out standing up. Fucking Charles.
Oh yeah, like I think honestly you're right. I think that's one thing you're right about. The only way Charles wins this fight is by something crazy. I'm talking about like a crazy, like you said, a flying triangle, hopping on his back and then submitting him, a crazy submission off his back. Like if Topuria takes him down, which I don't believe is going to happen. I think Topuria is just stand there and box him. But if he And maybe the size. We'll see how the size does. We'll see how like Charles is a big guy. He's gonna have the height difference, and he's gonna have the height advantage. I should say he's gonna have the reach. But man, Max did too. Max had the height advantage. Max had the
Yeah,
reach,
and see,
and
that's the thing. Max deserves it more, and Max had a heart and all this shit too. And it's like that's why I said it's gonna be hard to like. Would I go put my life savings on Charles? No, I'd go put that shit on Peyton or fucking Benil. But if I had to pick, and I'm like I said, based off of my fan opinion and not an analytics opinion, I'm going with Charles. And my heart would want Charles, you know.
hmm
But Temporia's, if he wins, he's probably, I mean, one of the greatest resumes ever. And I just want him to defend. Like, I want to see him fight fucking Patty. And I mean, people don't like it and shit and think Patty don't deserve it and all that shit. But Patty wins one more fight and he fights him. Oh, Patty's gonna beat him. Hey, you've been saying that. I'm gonna say it. Like, Patty's gonna beat Hand Sanitizer Boy. And then that technically means Patty beat Max, Alex, all these motherfuckers. That's called MMA math for you guys.
Let's call. All right, guys, that is it for the UFC 317 breakdown. Went through all the fights. Let me give you guys my picks. If you guys are here just right now and you guys have not seen any of them, I got Jackson McVeigh. I got Hanata Denise. I got Jacoby Smith. I got Terrence McKinney. I got Tracy Cortez. I got Jose Delgado. I got Peyton Talbot. Who else is there? I got Peyton Talbot. I got RoboCop, Gregory Rodriguez. I got Kai Kara France. I got Topuria. And I'm missing one more fight. What fight am I missing? I am missing one more. Trying to think what fight I'm missing. I'm looking. Let me go to this card real quick and try to tell you guys what fight I'm missing. I don't know why this shit not working. This shit making me go all the way up. What fight am I missing?
Oh no, I didn't.
It's on the main card. Oh no, I got Tracy Cortez. I said I got Jose Delgado, Gregory Rodriguez, Peyton Talbot.
So I'll go through them.
Benil Dariush.
So I
Kai
got
Kara France.
I got McVeigh. I said I got Hines. And so you said Denise. Jacoby Smith. You got Terrence McKinney. I got Borshev. We both have Tracy Cortez against Vivian Araujo. We both got Jose Delgado. We both got Gregory Rodriguez, RoboCop versus Jack Hermanson. We both have Peyton Talbot versus Felipe Lima. We both have Benil versus Renato. I have Brandon Royval. You have Joshua Van.
That's the one I was missing. I got Joshua Van. That was the one.
And then I have Alexander Pantoja. You have Kai Kara France. And I got Charles. And you got Ilia.
Yep. All right, guys. Like I said, that's our UFC 317 breakdown. Wait for tomorrow. Go check out Cage Warriors. Go check out PFL. Like the video. Subscribe to the page. Don't miss out on anything we have coming out, guys. I'm going to have all different types of videos out. Tomorrow, I'll have Cage Warriors 191. I'll have my UFC predictions out tomorrow with my in the description. I'll have all of my bets. So stay tuned for that. And all right, guys, we're out of here. UFC 317. I hope you guys have a good night.
Have a good night, everybody. Woo! Make some